rain, sand, sun, hail. My grandmother used to tell me stories about the old days, a time of peace when the Alex kept balance between the rain tribe, sand merchants, sun nation, and hail robomads. Only the Alex mastered all four elements. Only he could stop the ruthless sun setters. But when the world needed him most, Bombi drafted his team. Moving on. So this week we are playing Redshirt. I'm 1-1 after a close win against Icona last week. Match went about how I expected, so that's really nice, and we won. Zero differential. The bracket we're in, I'm going to take a real quick look at that because it may inform kind of the next few weeks going forward whether I have to play risky or not to make playoffs. So check out the standings. And over in my division, I have crept up to fourth place. Redshirt is at fifth. It's a pretty long season. You play 8 weeks total. You have one bye week, and the top four make it. So, gonna need to be in the top four to make it through. Some people are having a good start but haven't played, or their week two match hasn't been updated. Um, Bombi has only played okay, and Bombi had a bye the first week. So, gonna need to keep grinding. Gonna need to keep winning the matches that I can win. And this week I've got Redshirt. So looking at his team to start, I'm just kind of write out the things that I'm mainly afraid of. So breaking through Chomp and Heatran, Grunt, and Rodon. That's going to be kind of the main, I think, bulky offense core that I need to get through. Other things I'm worried about, Substrika, kind of checking Swampert. Going to check. I know Substrika gets Terra Blast, Grass, so I'm just going to check if it has any other Grass moves or if that's the only thing I need to do. And Trailblaze, so Substrika, Grass, potentially. Mega Pinsir, Sword Dancing and sweeping everything. He's got pretty good hazards with Tram, Jump, Fourth Worm. That can be tough to deal with. And I think that's about it. Other than that, just kind of worried about his general power level. Um, Punching through my Pokemon, but with all that said, let's go ahead and start taking a look at throwing some Pokemon into a team. So his team, Swampert looks pretty good into it. So I'm going to have my damage calc up and just sort of run some scenarios here and see what Swampert could be doing to punch through. So with Rotom Wash, I'm probably going to need either Grass or a Fighting move. Swampert, Mega. Yeah, Rotom is only weak to Electric, or only weak to Grass. So Grass move, I'm pretty sure the only... Oh, I thought Swampert got Trailblaze. Doesn't even get Trailblaze. That's going to be tough. So my best attacking move into the Rotom is probably going to be Super Power, or like a focus punch or something like that. That could be pretty good. So I'm gonna have to rely, I think, on Rotom Wash just being able to cleanly come in on Swampert, but maybe what I can do is I can just knock it off, flip turn out, move them all. So this will be a good start, I think. And then the rest of the moves, let's go Liquidation, right quick. Might throw Stealth Rook on here just to get as many opportunities to get rocked up on Pinsir as possible. Let's put this thing in Rain and see how it's doing into his game. This is going to be the start of a lot of my weeks, just seeing, Mega Swampert is my biggest offensive threat, seeing what it can punch through on their team and then try to fill in the holes from there. There's going to be weeks where that's not as viable, like if there are Pokemon that come in on Swampert a lot easier. Okay, so Swampert, things to consider is that Ice move for Garchomp. Let's see if that even, so in Rain, Liquidation is not 2 KOing fully bold for Chomp, but it would be 2 KOing no defense Chomp. And then let's see if Ice Punch would take it out. So Ice Punch would kill. Punch KOs offensive. Liquidation 2 KOs main event. Let's get started for Swampert into Guard Chomp. I don't want to be taking too much chip damage with Rep Skin and Rocky Helmet. Even just hitting this thing twice with Liquidation would be quite a bit of damage. So I would probably hope that I would hit it maybe once with Liquidation and switch it and then Earthquake it, depending on their set. Patron, I'm sure, dies to everything, but let's just check. That's offensive. Yeah, EQ does a million. Flip turn and Rain kills it, so Liquidation definitely kills it. Pekka probably lives an Earthquake. This thing is real bulky. Yeah, Pekka lives an Earthquake. My notes are going to be sort of all over the place. Up here is kind of where I'm putting notes on my opponent's mons, and here's going to be notes on my mons. Pekka lives Swamp View, but it gets to a KO. Pincer does a lot with return. Boosted quick attack only does 60. And let's go Liquidation and Rain. Liquidation and Rain. This thing has a little more bulk than I expected, so Pincer. Pincer. Yeah, because I want Swampert to be getting one KOs or be leaving. So I'm going to drop Knock, I think. It'd be nice to get Rotom's item off, but I think hitting it for a 40%, 30% liquidation and then flip turning is going to be better. And then just trying to get something that counters it a little more specifically, like maybe a Delma sort of angle. So let's go Rock Move. Rock Tomb could be good. Let's see if that's enough. So Rock Tomb always kills. And I have to keep in mind too, I have a good chance of keeping Stealth Rock up. So Ice Move for Garchomp. I think that I'm not going to go Ice Move for Garchomp. I think that the chance of one it KOing offensive Garchomp is just not as impactful as having a move that always kills Pinsir. Especially because um, if they are defensive Garchomp, then I think that they had a chance of living Ice Punch anyway. So let's just stick with this for now. The only thing that I think that I would also consider here is maybe flip turn for, and I'll just look at that. I'll flag that for when I've kind of built the rest of the team and see how my hazards will. So 252, Adamant. What's the fastest thing I want to outspeed? Pinsir's 340. Scarf Garchomp. Yeah, probably Scarf Garchomp. Or Zipstreak is pretty fast. Could be Scarf. I'm not really too worried about Scarf Zipstreak. I think that. Am I worried about Scarf Zipstreak? I'm a little bit worried about Scarf Zipstreak coming in and in the rain and outspeeding this and killing it with a Parablast. So I'm probably going to have to. Oh, but I'm never outspeeding that anyway. Okay, so I don't really need to worry about that. I just need to scout for it. If it happens. So really what I think good EV4 here is Jolly Choice Scarf. Garchomp. So I need to get to 250 speed. And, if Garchomp was like a scale shot set or something, if it's getting +2 speed, then I have other things to worry about than outspeeding +2 speed Garchomp, so I'm not even going to look at that. Oh, that does mean I need to run Jolly, though. Another thought I had when I was looking at this team is that Hitmontop Intimidate cycling could be okay, but I think Hitmontop's physical bulk is actually pretty bad. So if it's coming in on Garchomp, even if it's intimidating, it's still taking 70% in the rain. Let's say it's even, 52 gold sort of thing. It's still getting 2 KO'd after rocks. So I'm really not worried about intimidate. I was thinking about having like bulk up or something like that, but I really don't think it's necessary. I like Rock Tomb here too, because if he does bring in something like Zipstrika, um, I can lower its speed if it comes in, and Rock Tomb's not a contact move. Pretty tricky. Do I want to be able to hit his team a little bit harder, or do I want to outspeed Scarf Garchomp? I think that because Rock Tomb is so close on Pinsir, that leads me to want to keep adamant. Yeah, let's say that I'm jolly here. Then it's a roll to kill Mega Pincer, and I really don't want. So I'm going to stick with adamant and probably just outspeed normal Zebstrika. I think so. I need to be 366. Okay, so I need to be 183 speed. That's like nothing. Oh, okay. That'll give me a lot of bulk too. Is there anything that I want to speed creep that is what's Heatran? Heatran's 77. So if he has no speed Heatran, 190. So let's go ahead and go up to 191. Because that's not too much speed investment. And then if he has a bulky Heatran and I'm not in the rain, then I don't need to worry about taking a Magnet Storm or something like that. Okay, so for attack Swampert, I might as well go ahead and throw Pelipper on here because Pelipper and Swampert, they are going to be best friends. He has a couple Stealth Rockers, Hitmontop, Earthworm, Heatran, Garchomp. So I think for longevity reason, I want Pelipper to have heavy-duty boots. This thing is actually kind of okay into Heatran. Yeah, I think this can come in and wall Heatran, which makes me want to maybe give it Roost, Defog, U-turn, Surf. Yeah, the only thing I'm making my team a little Rotom weak here, so I'm gonna flag for the Rotom Wash. Better answers. Because Rotom Wash, I mean, it doesn't want to take rain boosted Surfs, but it's able to. And also Zebstrika can come in on Pelipper. I guess not too freely because it's not that bulky. But it can at least come in after something else switches. So that is a start. Let me think about what Pelipper is actually going to be coming in on. Hitmontop, Earthworm. I guess it can come in on Comfy. Comfy could be like a sort of Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Giga Drain sort of set, which could be annoying to deal with. So I'm gonna maybe have to flag that for something that maybe Gelmeyes could check. But I think mostly I want Pelipper to be able to come in on Garchomp, come in on Heatran, U-turn out, maybe get a Surf off. Let's check out EVs here. So I want to be able to live a Stone Edge or maybe a +2 Outrage or Scale Shot. So it's going to go worst case scenario here. +2 Adamant, loaded dice, Scale Shot. The bold Pelipper deal with that. Okay, so bold Pelipper can take that, which makes me want that to be sort of an option. And then I would need something that would be able to come in and revenge kill it. Maybe something like Ninetales. We'll get to that in a bit. Okay. I don't think this thing gets off pass. I'm a little bit all over the place, but that's kind of how my team building goes here. Do I want this thing to be slow? What's Earthworm speed? Earthworm that's faster than I expected. So the same as Pelipper. So I can intentionally underspeed Earthworm, but Earthworm I'm just going to stay on Surf. It might have Raccoon or something, but Earthworm is not a threatening offensive Pokemon, so that's fine. Comfy has priority, so that doesn't really matter, and it's super fast. And Surf back around. Everything else outspeeds him on top. Top 70. Yeah, so Pelipper speed really doesn't matter. I think I'm just going to throw 4 speed on it so that I do outspeed Earthworm. But otherwise, this is a set. Do I want Scald or Surf? Let's run some caps. I don't think I ever want Hurricane for anything. It might be nice for Mega Pincer. I'll check it out. So 252 defense, HP, bold in the rain. I'm going to count first. Am I 2 KOing it? Probably not. Yep. Nope. That's fine though, because if I'm doing chip damage, something else can come in. Heatran, that's fine. It's not doing a lot to me back. I can stand and just roost. It'll eventually get some Magma Storm. Pekka that's nice to KO Pekka actually. I'm gonna kind of flag two for Pekka Perfect Cloak or something to deal with that because I don't want my whole team just getting toxic and confused. And I can't run. Does this guy get healed though? I think I ran this exact set last week, except there's choice specs. That's fine. I'll leave that for now. Pelipper, Pinsir, Mega. So Hurricane isn't always killing anyway. Return two shots may. Yeah, I mean, this thing's gonna be hard to deal with, but if I get rocks up, then Surf will always kill it. So I think that I should just um rocks for Pinsir, two KOs. Gonna want a rock setter. Gonna want a spin blocker and something to deal with Rotom. Let's keep looking at the team. So Pelipper into Red and Wash. It's gonna do nothing. That's fine. Sure, 25%. Yeah, Red and Wash I might just have to chip down over time, and maybe try to get something going with Dilmines or Charizard. Another thought that I had is that looking at his team, he is pretty afraid of rocks for Pinsir and for Heatran, Garchomp. They don't want to be taking chip damage from rocks either. But his only removal is Hitmontop, which is not very good, uh, and gets set up on, or Rotom Wash and Fog. So I thought about doing something like a Passimian with Defiant, and we'll keep this around here. I don't think it's going to make the cut, but we can at least check out the talks and see how it goes. So far, I've got the Rain Core, um, and right now just running through the Pelipper calcs. I've filled in some of the other guys, but these are just what is kind of seeming like checks to the rest of this team, but we'll see if they actually, after we finish doing the Pelipper stuff. Obstagoon, Facade, that is a lot, but probably, I guess I don't kill it back, but I can roost on it and at least get it burned a little bit, but probably going to need double bold. And I will adjust this with however much attack it needs. Ninetales 2 outspeeds and Moonblast, so that's not too bad. I've got options into it. Swampert outspeeds it in the rain. But yeah, he's got a lot of physical offense and not a lot of special offense. But I've got some pretty good physical offense checks, so that's actually okay matchup wise. Earthworm, 2 Jared, check that. Come on top, probably 2 It could be bulky, very good if it's bulky, but I can stay on this thing forever. 252 Adamant, Technician, Triple Axle, still isn't 2 KOing, so I can keep roosting until he misses. Not super worried about that. Comfy doesn't do a lot of Calm Minding and healing, so that's not a great option for me. And the Streaka wouldn't want to stay in on, but it can get hit with a Surf on the switch in, and then I'd switch into something. So Zebstrika, this team is a little bit Zebstrika weak, now that I'm looking at it. I like Swampert. I like Pelipper. Kind of with that core, let's write down some of the things that I'm still missing. I think I'm putting a decent amount of pressure on Garchomp just with these two, so I don't need to specifically counter it anymore. Ninetales, if I keep this around, could do good. Heatran, I think is pretty well pressured by these. Pekka is sort of pressured by these, but could be annoying. So Pekka answer for Fox Spam. Pinsir, Sweep Insurance, Rotom Wash answers, which I don't really have. Obstagoon, I mean, I think Obstagoon, like, I can't build a specific counter to that thing. Hippowdon's going to be the best I can do. I think Hippowdon will be okay. Let's see what a 252 bold Hippowdon does. Okay, so yeah, if I make this thing bold, then it walls Obstagoon. I don't think Obstagoon gets Sword Stance or anything. It does get bulk up, so maybe I run Whirlwind sort of angle. So I'm slightly Obstagoon weak. Fourth Worm, Liquidation is fine to Fourth Worm. I'm going to have some special offense later. Ninetales doesn't really touch the steals, but maybe I run special Charizards and think we'll look into that a little bit more. I don't think this gets Mystical Fire or any ground move. Dig. Okay. I'm run Freeze Dry on this for Rotom too. Like that for later. Ninetales, a Freeze Dry. Fourth Worm, Hitmontop. Hitmontop's fine. Pelipper can come in and wall it. It might get Rock Set, but I can defog. It might be offensive triple axle. I can resist that. Not too worried. Comfy sweeps me, gets going, and some Streako. With Grass and Electric, it hits both of these guys for 4 times super effective. And Overheat would hit Ninetales. I think he's got pretty great coverage, actually. Pretty special attack, though. So if it's overheating, it's not going to do too much. Let's keep going. So I like these sets. I maybe want to put rocks on Swampert. I like the pivoting. Ninetales A cannot touch E-Turn whatsoever. I'm gonna scroll through these things moves. I thought about doing like some Aqua Tail sort of thing, but 67 base attack. It's not showing water, but E-Turn's pretty bulky, so that's really a non-starter, and it can have Flash Cannon to hit me back. So I'm really never touching Heatran. I could freeze it, if it's switching into Blizzard over and over. That's not going to be great. Moonblast and lower special attack. And Pelipper can come in on Heatran pretty freely and defog rocks, that sort of thing. A little worried about Heatran having Toxic, but Redshirt's team doesn't have a great answer for taking repeated surfs, and you turning to Swampert is pretty much always going to put pressure on whatever he brings in. So I am not so worried about not being able to hit Heatran, but it's definitely a bit of a problem. Just scrolling through the moves here. I mean, there's like a Hex Thunderwave sort of angle, but Heatran's pretty bulky. So I think that I'm just going to accept that I can't hit Heatran, and that's fine. And let's see, I could run Aurora Veil, but I don't really have anything that is setting up and sweeping that needs Aurora Veil, I don't think. I'll think about it a little bit more as I get further down my team. But I think the real benefit of Aurora Veil is that you can guarantee something is going to get a chance to boost at least once. I don't really think that's this team this week. The only booster that I really have is if I'm running something like Bulk Up on Swampert, but that's still going to get smoked by Zebstrika. Or if I'm running some sort of Charizard boosting set, but um, we'll consider that when we get to Charizard, so we'll see. All right, so moving on from here, let's just run some Ninetales calcs. Freeze Dry, make it Blizzard, and we'll think about Freeze Dry for Rotom. Let's run through the list. Garchomp, I'm sure this thing gets smoked by Blizzard. Yeah, and let's just go ahead and say 52 modest. Heatran probably takes. Okay, that's a little damage. That's kind of funny. 10 to 15. If it's leftovers, that's not doing anything. Pekrunt, 2 KO by Blizzard, that's pretty good. Malignant Chains, 2 KOing me, but I don't know. I think that's okay. I might get poisoned, which would be annoying to deal with, but not the worst thing. Let's go Conserve. Dice to Blizzard, that's good. I love Return. Quick Attack's not going to do a lot. They'll be in Snow. Maybe I want to see even a +6. I'm living a Quick Attack if I put anything into Bulk. I'm never outspeeding Scarf Garchomp anyway, and I'm not too worried about Scarf Garchomp. But worried about +1 Garchomp. If I'm timid, and what's Garchomp speed here? 52, Jolly, 499. So I would need to be 334. Oh, that was with 252 HP against the Pincer. Okay, he's never getting a plus X, but let's just check this to be sure. So 56 HP, Garchomp, probably with an Iron Tail. Don't let it enter. That's fine. And that's with no attack anyway. But let's check it into Pinsir. So I'm always killing it with Blizzard. Quick attack, even at plus, let's say +4, that would kill me after rocks. +2, I would live after rocks. So I like this as a little bit of Pinsir insurance. Pinsir could have Trailblaze, I guess. Is it dumb to not just run speed? Let's check it out Trailblaze. I don't want to deal with Trailblaze, so I have 11, Swan, Jolly, 8. Let's see if the thing actually can't get Trailblaze, because I don't know that it's even released in Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, so I don't think it even gets Trailblaze. Pinsir could be agility, but I'm not that worried about that. So I think that I can go back down to this 256 HP sort of set, and that'll be fine. Check it into Rotom Wash. Freeze Ray 2 KOs, nothing else does. This is a 252 HP Rotom if it's. Okay. So, question for Ninetales is Freeze Dry the BP. It's always going to have Blizzard. That move's just great. I don't know that I need another attack other than Blizzard and Freeze Dry, because so far the top four things I'm Blizzarding, and Rotom I would Freeze Dry. So Obstagoon, let's see if I need Moonblast. Okay, so Moonblast isn't 2KOing Obstagoon anyway. Um, it would after Rocks, but Obstagoon isn't killing me back either. So one thing I could do is I could drop Moonblast in favor of Freeze Dry, because I think it's more likely that I'm going to want to 2KO Rotom than that I'm going to want to one-hit KO Obstagoon. And I'm a little Rotom weak right now. So Freeze Dry is looking a little bit more appealing. I like the Heal Bell for Pekka. I don't know that I love Baton Pass because I feel like each time Ninetales comes in, it's threatening something pretty well other than Heatran. In Heatran, I do have at least one good hard switch to go to, so I'm not too worried about that. The benefit of having Baton Pass is that if Redshirt still has Heatran around, then I could bring in Ninetales, expect the Heatran switch or the Orthworm switch, and then Baton Pass to something that answers them a little bit better, like some sort of Charizard or Small Fruit set. But I think that I might get more value out of having the extra attack and hard switching in the case that I have a read like that. I also don't want to overprotect Redshirt. You know, if they have Heatran and I have Ninetales A out against something else, they might just stay in. Um, and it might just be better to click Blizzard, hit the Heatran, maybe try to freeze it, um, and then hard switch to something that counters it a little bit better. So don't want to do too much that I don't need to. And I think Freeze Dry Blizzard gives me a few more options to just quick moves. Okay, so after I checked, Earthworm probably takes like 30. That's fine. I mean, I'm not saying it on Earthworm. You can go to Pelipper, you can go to Hippowdon. I'm probably going to want this just for boosting sets. Let's check what else. Hitmontop. Okay, Moonblast. This is a very offensive Hitmontop. Probably wouldn't be. Blizzard's 3 KOing, Moonblast is 2 KOing. It's not doing, I guess it could have Bullet Punch, so I don't really want to stay on Hitmontop anyway. I'm probably going out to Hippowdon in that case, Pelipper, or even Domize. I guess I could have Triple Axle. Yeah, I'm liking how this Hippowdon is coming out. Let's see what else we got. Comfy versus Ninetales A. I don't mind that Blizzard, but Comfy would be boosting up Calm Minding, Draining Kiss, and Zephyr. This thing, let's just go ahead. Worst case scenario, Modest, Overheat. Specs. So choice specs, Modest, Overheat is killing me. That's fine. I don't want EV to try to live that. I think choice specs is unlikely. I think choice scarf or expert belt, maybe even boots, who knows, is a good idea. and then I would live that. If he locks into modest specs overheat, then I'll maybe have a good setup opportunity for Charizard. I think Charizard is looking more and more like something that I'm going to want to be a setup mon. Depending on what moves it can actually get to damage Redshirt's team. The most important part of team building is answering texts from your fiance. Yeah, the secret strategy to being good at Pokemon is making sure that your fiance is not upset that you're spending too much time looking at spreadsheets and little cartoon creatures. So Ninetales does okay into the team, but Ninetales doesn't really threaten Heatran or Orthworm. Um, it's a good bit of pressure on everything else though. So Hippowdon can't really touch Orthworm, hence the Whirlwind. Heatran, Earthquake, sure, slack off. I don't know that I want to really overthink this Heatran or this Hippowdon set too much. Do I want Sand? Yeah, Sand seems pretty good at chipping his team down. Swampert doesn't mind Sand. Dimonis and Charizard don't love it. Ninetales and Pelipper would be bringing their own weather anyway. Oh, I didn't actually give this thing EVs. 200 Timid to Speed Garchomp. Let me make sure that math still works. So 334 Garchomp, 252, plus 1, 499, plus 1. Cool. Good prep. I'm kind of tempted to give this thing Covert Cloak. I'm really Peck Runt weak right now, to be honest. I don't love how my Peck Runt matchup looks, but let's think about how it actually plays out. Pelipper surfs it twice, or goes into Swampert. Swampert Earthquakes it. Ninetales can Blizzard it twice and take a Malignant Chain and maybe have to switch out. Hippowdon can Earthquake it, which isn't doing a ton. I mean, maybe I'm overstating the Peck Runt problem in my head because everything that I have actually does pretty well into it individually. Okay, so maybe I mean, it could have like Recover and be this sort of set, and then Hippowdon doesn't break through it, but if it's that sort of set, Swampert's still 2-Ks it. Okay, I don't want to rely on Swampert being my only thing that can break through Pekkarunt, so maybe I'll look at Charizard too, but I don't think that I need to over prep for Pekkarunt when he's got Pinsir, Heatran, Garchomp for a situation. Let's check this thing into Zebstrika, Terra type, Grass. I would be surprised if he was something other than Grass here. That's used. Okay, so worst case scenario, I guess worst case scenario could be Choice Band or Expert Belt or something. And then I'm not taking on Zebstrika, but Hippowdon even does fine into Adamant 252, Grass, Terra Blast. Let's see what this looks like if it's modest. That's 2 KO. Then I have Zard. I think Zard Terra Dragon makes sense. So that it can come in on a grass move and then tear out of the electric weakness. What is a good fourth move? So what could this thing be coming in on? It could be coming in on Garchomp, Heatran, Pinsir. What am I saying? Oh, it's not if Pinsir starts boosting up, then I Whirlwind it. Does Pinsir get taunt? He's not going to taunt Swords Dance Mega Pinsir. That'd be crazy. And then Ninetales can probably revenge kill it. Yeah, I think rocks are good. This thing can come in on Hitmontop pretty freely. Come in on Garchomp. I don't know if I want Rocky Helmet actually. I think leftovers is better. Reason being, if it comes in on Mega Pinsir, then the most impactful thing I'm going to be able to do is Whirlwind it out and then get rocks up. I don't think that I'm beating, and Mega Pinsir, I don't think it needs a lot of chip for Swampert or Ninetales to one-shot it. I don't think it needs Rocky Helmet chip. I think just a couple turns of Sand will do. So I originally had Rocky Helmet on for Pinsir, maybe for Obstagoon, but I think just getting Sand Chip and Whirlwind when I'm out is going to be better. Delmise. So Delmise is going to have to kind of do a lot here. So Delmise, I want for Rotom Wash. I want it to put pressure on Comfy. I want it to be able to take on Zebstrika, probably without Overheat. I don't think that I'm going to have it be able to stay in on Obstagoon or Hitmontop because of knockoff and triple axle. Mega Pinsir is going to smoke it with Arrowhead. Garchomp and Heatran are bad, and Pekarunt is okay at best. Doesn't get quick room. Um, so let's first off, just gonna give it rapid defend. Good start. I want it to have something to hit Pekarunt, Poltergeist. I want it to have a move to hit Comfy. The worker anchor shots. What's anchor shot doing? 55 to 65. Um, if this, there's no way this is going to be grassy seed. That's crazy. Let's just get leftovers. So worst case scenario here, it's two-shotting Comfy. That's not too bad. It could be getting Draining Kiss Healing. You know, who knows? Let's go Heavy Slam. That's even better. I like Heavy Slam. I can already see this thing becoming Assault Vest, just like last week too. Um, Poltergeist is pretty good into Heatran, and I've got at least one OK switcher for Heatran. Swampert also walls Heatran pretty well. I just don't want to be taking a lot of chip damage. Does Ninetales I get wished? No. Bummer. Charizard's going to wall Heatran pretty well too, as long as I keep it fire until I need it. Do I want to hit Charizard? Crowd Spin, Poltergeist, Heavy Slam. How's this doing? So Garchomp comes in. Let's say it's offensive Garchomp. Sword Stance, Scale Shot. Don't love that. I die to a Sword Stance boosted move, and I don't really threaten it back. So Powdon's going to have to be more the Garchomp answer. Heatran can't stay in on it, but it catches a Poltergeist. It does a lot. Pekarunt. This is really more what I was thinking about. So Malignant Chain is doing a lot. Poltergeist is doing some damage back. Let's say that I'm 52 HP, 52 attack. Let's add that. That's real set. How am I doing? Almost killing it, maybe killing it after rocks. If they're offensive, it's not doing a ton. I don't want to get Malignant Chain, Toxic, confused, but I could heal Bell that off. Could go to Hippo. I don't know, Pickrun's really annoying to try for. But I think with Poltergeist, I'm at least putting a lot of pressure. He's not going to be able to boost up with Nasty Plot. I thought about putting Covert Cloak, but kind of looking at my team, unless I build a Spedef Hippowdon, which still probably loses to Pekarunt that gets a Nasty Plot boost, there's nothing that's really going to get the Covert Cloak on and stay in on Pekarunt. Unless I bring like Politoed or I don't know, Ninetales, which have maybe a little bit more special bulk. But I think my best answer for Pekarunt is going to be to try to sit and wall Malignant Chain. It's just going to be to hit it and take it out and build Pokemon that can 2-hit KO it so that it can't come in for free and start doing stuff. Returns can smoke me, nothing I can do about that. Rotom Wash. So I don't want to get burned, but oh, you know what? This is going to have to be a grass move. Let's be real. Yeah, I think I think this. 252 Adamant guarantees that I kill this thing. Guarantees that I two-shot it even if I get burned. Don't have a lot of recovery, which I don't love. They do have a lot of hazards, but I've got Pelipper with boots to defog. Um, there's one thing that I could do is I could run heavy duty boots on Delmise as well. If I do that, I'm a little bit weaker into Pekarunt. Okay. Heavy duty. Where are my boots? Where are my boots? Heavy duty boots. I'm a little bit weaker in Pekarunt. Yeah, Peckerant, Hex. If he gets a Malignant Chain into a Poison Hex, he kills me. But I'm better into continuously checking Rodon with switching in. So it really just depends on if I think that he's going to get opportunities to get veterans up. I really don't think so, because I think with Swampert, Ninetales, whatever Charizard I wind up with, I think I'm going to be running a pretty fast team. I don't think that he's going to have a lot of turns to get up rocks as long as I put pressure from the beginning. Maybe it lead something like a Ninetales. I guess I did wind up going the time pass, didn't I? Anyway, I think that I'm going to be able to get a lot of pressure up with just maybe leading Ninetales and spamming Blizzard, um, getting this thing in. So I think that Assault Vest is fine. I like these EVs kind of gets me prepared to um, take any sort of hit from something and hit it back pretty hard. I think the 252 Adamant is good to guarantee the one shot or the two shot on Rotom. I think that's fine. Okay, and now Charizard. What am I doing with Charizard? So some consideration for Charizard. Let's just write down some of my thoughts. Charizard. I want it to be able to Terra and beat Zipstreak. I want him to have to sort of guess whether I'm going to be Dragon Flying or Fire. I think Fire doesn't make a ton of sense because he's got Rotom, Garchomp, Heatran, but it's a good coverage move for a lot of Charizard's other stuff. I probably want a ground move. What have I got for ground moves? Got Earthquake, got Scorching Sand. I think to start, so one set that I was looking at when I was just preparing on this team on ladder is Swords Dance, Loaded Dice, Terra Dragon, Scale Shot. Another on Charizard. Ability. I wish I had Charizard, the good one. Scale Shot. What else do I do? I do Scale Shot, Earthquake, something for Earthworm, so maybe. And this would be Fake Things. Let's see how this plays. So I get a +2, Terra Dragon, Adamant, sure. How am I doing on everything? So Rotom gets 2 KO by Scale Shot. Not great, but the only thing he can do is burn me. Garchomp dies to Scale Shot, but I would need to stay Fire until I actually throw it out. But I could Scale Shot it twice. And this is defensive Garchomp. Okay, so that's good too. If he switches in Garchomp, I could Scale Shot it twice and kill it. Heatran, I'm sure, dies to Heatran. EQ, yeah, even unboosted EQ. That's pretty good. Peckerunts. How are we doing against Peckerunts? Peckerunt is pretty fast, but he might be max speed Peckerunt. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna run Jolly then, I think. Jolly 3-8. 318 makes sense. Type speed ups to game. Uh, Peckerunt, Earthquake, +2. I could EQ and then into Scale Shot. That looks good. Pinsir, my guy's gonna do a ton of damage to me, but at +2, if I get a Scale Cut off, let's say I'm -1 defense. Still living a quick attack, still killing it with Blaze Kick, so that's fine. I just can't skill shot. Even if I skill shot twice, I still live a quick attack. Yeah, just can't be taking a ton of rocks. Rotom Wash. Okay, I already checked that, but yeah, I mean, Rotom Wash is bulky, it's fine. I've got Dumb Eyes for it. Obstagoon. Obstagoon does live a +2 scale shot. So I've got to keep that. Okay, Obstagoon is bulkier than I thought, but if he's taken rocks and he has taken some burn chip, then that skill shot will wind up killing. So I think that's fine. Another thing that I could do is like fun Flare Blitz, but I don't think that's And this is 4 hit scale shot, so I could get 5 hits too. I think the Blaze Kick is going to be fine. Orc took care by Blaze Kick. That's about what I expected. Body Press, yeah, that's all good. The only thing I was thinking about is like a bulky Roost Charizard, but I don't think that's actually very good. So Hitmonchan, if it's intimidating me, then I can just keep Swords Dancing. Like if he's trying to cycle it with something else. Skill Shot kills it if he's not bulky. Cool. Comfy. Comfy, I probably just have to switch on because of Draining Kiss, but Blazing Kiss, 2-shot. Cool. And then Zebstrika. So Zebstrika is really the thing that I'm most worried about. So I think what I would have to do on this thing is just Scale Shot it twice, because it's likely that he is Terra Grass. It could go for a T-Bolt into the dragon type, but he doesn't have any ice coverage. So Dragon will pretty much always give me a good defensive um, typing against Zebstrika. Let me just make sure that it, in fact, doesn't get a nice move. I think it's yeah. So I think this is a good enough answer for Zebstrika as long as I can get the Terra in early. I thought about doing some sort of special set, but really the problem is that he Dragon Balls everything. Even Scorching Sands from Charizard isn't going to do a ton. Could be Balloon or something like that. And I like having something that can set up. I like the loaded dice. I think it's cool. I think Blaze, yeah, it's going to be Blaze, Terra Dragon, and Earthquake. I think that this puts a lot of pressure on his team. I think that his physical walls of Orthworm, Rotom Wash, and Pekka don't do great into the set because Charizard can hit 2 of the 3 super effectively, and Rotom Wash gets kind of smoked if I start Swords Dancing up. So what did I settle on? 216, 216 Jolly, and 40 hit points. Okay, and I've got a team. So looking at the team overall, it's pretty bulky. Got 2 fully bold physical wall guys in Pelipper and Hippowdon. I've got an AV Delmize, and then I've got Fast Ninetales, Wallbreaker, Fast Swampert, and a Boosting Charizard. I think the team does pretty well. I think that where I'm going to run into trouble is that he's got a couple guys that just put a lot of pressure on everyone on my team, and I don't have great answers for. So, for example, Mega Pinsir, each time it comes in, it's going to hit something for 50% at least, or going to kill. Garchomp is going to be kind of hard to answer. I think that I've got a lot of things that can stay in on it and threaten it, but I'm going to maybe have to make some good guesses with when I Terra Charizard and make sure it doesn't get going too fast, too quickly, so that Ninetales can revenge kill it. Heatran, Pekkaron, and Rotom Wash are all just going to be hard to break through in general. And Zebstrika, I think the Charizard checks it pretty well as long as I get off the Terra Dragon. But until I do, I'm a little bit Zebstrika weak. Delmice does well with Assault Vest, but it could be Specs Overheat, which is going to do a lot of damage, don't have any recovery. So I think that where I'm going to run into trouble, if I do, is just with my team getting um, continuously chipped down, things taking 50% and not getting an opportunity to heal up. I think that where I'm going to do well is Swampert is great wall breaker, do a lot of things on his team. I think that Ninetales can really spam Blizzard once I remove Heatran, and I think I've got a couple things that put a lot of pressure on Heatran. And I think Charizard, loaded dice, scale shot, Terra Dragon has a good shot of doing some damage. And this isn't a set that I brought my first 2 weeks, so I don't know that I'll be prepared for it. And I think that Pelipper, Hippowdon, and Delmize can maybe hold the fort down defensively. And I think I might be able to win the hazard game with Stealth Rock here. Maybe want Stealth Rock another thing too. It's so tempting. No, I like the team, and I think this will be good to go. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll be playing soon.